My best friend was over recently and she opened up one of these drawers and kind of laughed because she was like, I love how your drawer is basically empty. And honestly, a lot of this space in this kitchen is not full or, you know, fully used. So I thought it might be kind of fun to just show you, just give you kind of a best friend tour of our kitchen, show you inside all the cupboards and the drawers and everything. I did not go through these spaces in advance to organize them or make them look impressive for you. So what you see is kind of how they look in normal life. I love helping Christian women to simplify and systemize their lives and make time for what matters most. And I think it's always really helpful to see very practically how other people live so you can get some ideas and inspiration. I think as a family of 4, we have pared this down pretty well to the point where we have what we need, and at the same time it doesn't feel like we're really inconveniencing ourselves or like we're just big weirdos who have basically nothing. Let's get into the tour. Okay, so first of all, this is what our countertops look like pretty much all the time. Normally there's not a crock pot out, but as you can see, they're bare. Now, granted, obviously there's like food being cooked on them or there's dirty dishes sitting out sometimes, but this is how it is most of the time. We don't own a toaster, we don't own a microwave. Obviously not owning a microwave is a little bit inconvenient at times, but in some other ways it is more convenient actually, and technically we made that decision more for health reasons than a minimalism standpoint, but it is really nice to have that extra counter space because we don't have a spot for a microwave in here up above, so it would be sitting on the counter somewhere. So these are all of our dishes. We've had these for about 10 years now, and we started out with 12 of each piece. It's dwindled a little over time as they've gotten broken. I don't know if I would for sure get 12 pieces again in the future if I was buying a set. I might get a little bit less. But these are all of our dishes. We don't have plastic dishes, we don't have dishes for the kids, we don't have fancy dishes. This is it. The only other additional dishes we have, these 4 little Corelle dishes that can't break that are from a thrift store, and we use these with our 1-year-old. But otherwise, that's it for the dishes. This is all of our glassware here, and you can see some essential oils tucked back in there. So drinking glasses, again, we don't have plastic or a bunch of extra kinds of glasses. This is everything that we have for mugs. This seems to be enough to cover me for like book club, which I host every month, and a lot of times we'll have coffee or we'll have hot cider or something like that. And then same for these glasses up here. I don't really drink much anymore. We could get rid of these wine glasses and maybe we will eventually, but Kyle, my husband, still uses them, and when I host book club every month, I serve wine, so then we use those. The champagne glasses are definitely not necessary, especially as a minimalist, but if I am going to drink, champagne is my drink of choice, and these are sentimental family heirloom champagne glasses, so those are kind of fun to have. We also do have some 4 copper mugs, which we have not used in years, but Kyle wants to hold on to them because, to be fair, they're real copper. They would be expensive to replace. And
I literally just used them last week.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I take that back. And I mean, the nice thing about, like, we don't live in a tiny house, so it's okay to keep a few things that are like, well, we could get by without this if we needed to, because we have plenty of space for it. Down here we have drip clips and a kitchen scissors. I like to have everyday items be pretty when possible. That does not apply to this oven mitt, which is really ugly, but it's so functional. So this is the only oven mitt that we have. And then we have cloth napkins, which that's what we use instead of paper napkins, and 2, what do you call this, a trivet to put hot dishes on. Down here are just a couple of roasting pans and then some bags that we use for like dirty diapers and stuff. In here is literally just a towel for drying dishes. Below the sink, we have our garbage and recycling, paper towels, rubber gloves, garbage bags, and then just a couple of different scrubbies. But primarily when we're washing dishes, we use these kind of like mesh things to wash them. We found those work really well. We do not have a separate hand soap. Can you see my neighbor in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Laura, in her pajamas or something. We do not keep a separate hand soap in the kitchen because dish soap will wash your hands too, just so you know, in case you didn't know that. Down here we have 2 cookie sheets and 2 cutting boards, a big plastic one and then a smaller kind of cute wooden one. Down here is like extra hand towels and kitchen towels, scrubbies, Norwex cloths. This is all of our silverware, serving utensil kind of stuff. So again, you'll see we don't have a lot of like kid stuff. We have one set of little kid silverware, but found that we didn't need like tons of plastic silverware and extra silverware for kids, so I got rid of that years ago. Up here, this is where I stash those dishes for George that I mentioned before, and then he has 2 sippy cups and this little cup, and we just have a few extra bowls that I'll use for like condiments, or if I do kind of a charcuterie board, I'll put condiments in there. This is our coffee stuff, and we don't have a coffee maker, just do French press. And then up here is, we have 3, well no, I guess we have 4 now, 4 coffee thermoses. This is all of our food storage. Normally we have 2 big round plastic containers up here, but those are in use. But that's all that we have left for plastic. We just found like we had so much and we would rather use glass, and we didn't need all of it. So we donated the plastic stuff years ago and just stick to Pyrex. We have a few extra dishes back here, our dishes that I showed you before, since we don't need those all the time. So those can hang out back there. It probably seems like we have an excessive amount of mason jars, which perhaps we do, but it is amazing how often we will have a lot of these in use, because my husband is amazing at making bone broth and homemade elderberry syrup and all sorts of stuff like that, and so then we will literally use a lot of these at one time. This is everything that we have for pots and pans at this point. We've kind of tested things out over the years, consolidating, trying, getting by with less. And so this is what we have come down to, is this small one. I don't even know the words for these because I don't really cook that much. So a saucepan, right? And like a frying pan. I don't even know if that's called a frying pan, but you know what I mean. A little bit bigger one. And then we have a stock pot down on the bottom for soup. And then a healthy non-stick griddle. Down here are all of our appliances, which might seem kind of random. I feel like everyone's appliances are very unique and specific to them. So we do not have, like I said, a microwave. We don't have a toaster. We do not have any kind of a like hand mixer or stand mixer, but we do have a hard-boiled egg cooker, which we use at least once a week, and this thing is amazing. We also have an immersion blender. And then we love our Ninja blender and food processor. Normally the crock pot goes down there. And then we also have a George Foreman grill, which I really like, but Kyle thinks we could get rid of it. And we could technically, but I like having it, especially with not having the microwave, like for heating up organic hot dogs and stuff. All right, these are our bigger utensils then, so all of our knives are in here, spoons, things like that. And then this one, we've got like measuring cups and measuring spoons, and a couple of the bigger random items. Again, it's like my friend said, there's just a lot of empty space, but it's great. All of these are things that we use regularly, and if at some point we find like we're not really using that utensil anymore, then we pitch it, it's gone. Up above the stove, we do have 5 pie plates, which we use every week to make healthy homemade pizza on Sunday Sabbath. And when I say we, I mean my husband Kyle. And then we've found over the years that we really only need 2 baking dishes. And they're not the prettiest ever, but it's nice to have ones that have a lid. So a square one and a rectangular one, and then 2 loaf pans. So we do not have any other baking dishes. We don't even own muffin tins anymore. I hadn't used them in years, so I was like, why am I holding on to this? It seems like something that an American woman should own, but I wasn't using it. And if I ever need one, I'm sure my lovely neighbor Laura, who you just met, would lend me one. And then we keep all of our spices up here. Over here, this kind of unique, weird cupboard here, we have like our reusable bags for grocery shopping. We have 2 mixing bowls and 1 colander. Up here we have a few vases, different sizes. And now we're kind of getting into stuff that's not really as like kitchen-y. So a toolkit, a lunchbox, and then grilling tools. I've talked more about this area in a previous video, but this is just kind of like our command center, the center of all the stuff. This is where we keep our water bottles. Each of our boys have their own stainless steel water bottle, and then George has 2 sippy cups, and that's kind of it for like the kids' cups. Otherwise, Harry just uses normal glasses. But this is where they sit during the day when they're in use, and then this is not perfectly beautiful, but this is where we keep charging cords, stuff to mail things, vitamins, George's diabetes stuff, his sharps container, things like that, first aid, etc. And then over here on this side, this is the back of the dishwasher, so nothing in here. This drawer just has George's bibs. And then down here we have a few items for entertaining. So 1 pitcher, 1 serving bowl, kind of like a cuter, fancier cutting board, 1 serving platter, a beverage dispenser, and then a big marble slab for when I do a big charcuterie platter. I don't have the spiritual gift of like cooking fancy things, but I can put together a decent looking meat and cheese board. So there's that. All that's left then is our pantry. Maybe a little dark and hard to see. Again, I did not make this look pretty, so this is just how it looks in real life. Everything in here in terms of non-perishables lives in here, whether it's backup stuff, paper products, alcohol, obviously. We have a few paper plates and plastic utensils. Honestly, we don't even always have those because I don't really buy them. We don't use them, but if they're left over from a party or something, then I hang on to them. This is our recipe binder, so we don't hang on to a lot of paper recipes, but any that we do have are here all in one place. So, thanks for hanging out in my kitchen. I think we're basically best friends now, so.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
Hopefully we can hang out again. I would love if you would subscribe, and you can check out some free resources that I have linked below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.
Yeah! What I want.